Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to be bringing you two DIYs. I'm going to be using some frames from Hobby Lobby that I got last year after Christmas, 90% off. And then I'm also going to be making my own chipboard letters with some boxes that I have. You can use cereal boxes. I just didn't have any on hand, so I used what I had. And we're going to make these two really nice Christmas decor pieces. So keep watching, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so. And if you have any comments, let me know in the comments section. Let me know which of these two projects you like best, and just share my video with your family and friends or anybody that you think might like crafting. So let's get on with it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own chipboard letters, and we're going to do this starting with DIY number 1. So what I did was I found the star on Cricut Design Space, and I cut out 4 of them on some thin cardboard, and I'm using this Elmer's glue, and I'm going to attach them all together. So this is just a glue stick. I've had it for years. I'm surprised it didn't dry up, so it must be pretty good. So I'm just putting glue on my first star. I'm adding my second star to it, just pressing it down, making sure that all areas are attached. And then I'm going to put glue stick on the top of this star. Now I did use some liquid glue in a previous video where I did this, and I think the glue stick probably works better. So here I've attached the third star, smoothing it down, making sure that it's all even. And now I'm going to add glue stick to the top of this one. Now you want to make sure you get your glue on all of your star, the whole thing, the points and everything. So here's our fourth and final star. And you'll see it makes a nice thick piece of chipboard. And you can use pretty much any kind of thin box. Mine actually were from some medications that I had. They were in big boxes, and I just kept the boxes, so I cut those apart and used those. So I'm putting together the C now, so I've got 2 of them together so far. Still using the glue stick, and I use the glue stick for all my chipboard letters in this project. And then I just make sure that they're all squeezed together and laying flat, and that they're all where they need to be, where they're all positioned correctly. And now I'm going to take my Folk Art gold paint, and I'm going to paint my star and my word. Now the word is Christmas. So I use my paintbrush for the first coat of paint, and the second coat of paint I actually use a foam dauber. And I do make sure that I paint the sides. I do not paint the back because we're going to be gluing that on our piece. But I do the front and the sides, giving it 2 coats of paint. Like I said, the first coat with a brush and a second coat with a foam dauber. Now, I don't show you the second coat that I put on. That's just me going over the first coat because it was pretty thin. Now I'm starting on my letters. I do the same thing. Make sure you go around the outside of the letters, but you do not have to do the back side. Now I have my staple remover here, and I'm taking out the staples of the decor piece that I'm going to be using. That was from Hobby Lobby. They had these staples down pretty good in this wood piece. So as you see, even with this tool, it was a little hard getting the tool up under the staple, but it is a whole lot easier than using a flat end screwdriver, let me tell you. So if you don't have one of these staple removers, you might want to think about getting one. So here's the decor piece that we're going to use, and I'm going to use my jet black acrylic paint on this. So I'm pouring out a generous amount on this lamb. Say goodbye to the lamb. Bye, Lammy. So it's just black acrylic paint, and I do 2 coats. And there's both coats done. And I have my cutout from my Cricut. And I had to cut it out in 3 different pieces because it was so large. But I think it turned out wonderful. I love it. So I'm just laying my pieces on my board just so that I'll know where exactly they need to be. Now I don't want to push these down onto the board too hard. I'm just kind of trying to see where the top part should be positioned. So putting my star up there, make sure that I have room for it. Gonna go ahead and take the 2 bottom pieces off while I work on the top piece. And I got this idea from a piece that was on hobbylobby.com. And I thought this was a pretty cool piece that I definitely wanted to make. So I went to my Cricut and I worked on it and finally had it where I needed it to be. Now I'm just burnishing down my vinyl. And this is just one of those tools from the Dollar Tree. And this is a used piece of transfer tape, and it's actually like the contact paper. So it's not actual transfer tape per se. It's contact paper. But as you can see, it still works. And there I am putting the chipboard letters on the piece here, just to see how it's going to look. Now I'm going to add my second section of vinyl to the piece. I think that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and line up my letters to make sure. So like I said, the chipboard word spells out Christmas. So I'm just trying to determine if my piece is where I need it to be, and I feel like I need to adjust it a little bit. So I just pick it up and move it. Now I think that looks good, and we're going to go ahead with that. So I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers. And then I'm going to take the varnishing tool and go over it. And this is another piece of that contact paper, just clear contact paper. My husband had a couple rolls of it, so I'm like, yeah, I just need to use this for my vinyl, so it works pretty good. I'm not complaining. And this piece, I think this was the first time I used this piece. So you can use your transfer tape several times. You don't have to use it just once and throw it away. And this white vinyl was from Hobby Lobby. It is the, what brand is it? Anyway, it's the cheaper brand there at Hobby Lobby. I forget the name of it. Now there's the third piece of vinyl. Third and final piece. Now we'll be putting that vinyl back on the backing sheet, and I'll be using it again. Not the vinyl, the transfer tape. Now again, I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to glue down the chipboard letters and the star. So you want to make sure that you get glue over every piece of that, the back. And it will stick to the board. I didn't have any problems. And there it is. A child has been born for us. A son is given to us. Authority rests upon him, and he is named Jesus. And that's in Isaiah. So now for our last DIY, number 2. So I'm just showing you this Hobby Lobby decor sign that I'm going to be using. One just like it. This one had the joy on it, and when I ripped the joy off, because it's on with glue and nails, it tore the paper up, but we are going to cover that paper with some scrapbook paper. So I'm just measuring out how the width of the piece on the inside, so I'll know where to cut my paper. And I think it was right at 9 inches. Then I came back and measured the length of the board, and it was about 11.5 inches. So I have a piece of green 12 by 12 scrapbook paper that I'm cutting down. I have my paper in there, and you can see a little bit of that black and white underneath it. So I decided to take some green acrylic paint and just go around the inside edges of the decor piece, so that when I put my paper down, you're not going to see that black or the white. You're going to see green, or you're not going to really see it at all because it kind of matches the scrapbook paper. And I really like taking Hobby Lobby pieces and redoing them because they're pretty good quality. It's not like Dollar Tree where they're, little cheapo stuff. And this is the acrylic green paint that I use to go around the edges. And now I'm going to take my homemade Mod Podge, which is 1 cup of either all-purpose or school glue, Elmer's, and 1/4 cup of water. And it's about the same as the matte Mod Podge. So I'm just going to go all over the inside portion, and I had to put a lot more down at the bottom where the paper was torn away than on the other part. So I'm just rubbing it down, making sure I get good adhesion. And now I have these words that were cut out. I did 4 of each letter, and then I glued them with a glue stick together, just like I did the star and the word Christmas. So this is in a different font, and it's Comfort. And I also saw this sign at hobbylobby.com, and I knew that I wanted to recreate it. They had theirs on a black background, but since I wasn't going to paint this one, I really didn't have any black scrapbook paper, I decided to use the dark green scrapbook paper. And again, I'm just using the glue stick to glue down the letters. And they are pretty substantial when you glue 4 of them together. I really like them. And I did see Kelly Barlow from KB Creations. If you have not watched her on YouTube, you should probably consider doing so, because she's the one that, suggested making your own letters like this by using cereal boxes or any, type of thin box that you have. You could probably use a shoe box. So that's where I got the idea of making these letters from. So thank you, Kelly, for that. And I really didn't have any problems with the glue stick on this, except that, believe it or not, the F did not want to stick. So the next day when I picked it up, the F fell off. So I just reattached it with some more glue stick, and it was fine. So I cut out this "and joy" with some pine branches on either side from the Cricut, with the same white vinyl from Hobby Lobby. And it's matte vinyl is what it is. I like matte vinyl a little bit better than the shiny vinyl. And then for the top, I have these pine pieces and a pine cone. See, there I was almost going to put it on there upside down. But I figured it out, thank goodness. And I put it on there correctly. Love it. You'll have to let me know which of these two projects you liked best. I like them both, but there is one that I like a little bit better than the other. And I'll let you know which one that is in a few seconds. But comfort and joy. I like that. And here it is hanging on my wall. And there's both of them. So actually my favorite is A Child Has Been Born for Us. Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please think about doing so. And if you like what you see here, please give me a thumbs up as it helps my channel to be seen by others.